Hello, it's Monday evening, March 15th, and I thought I'd send you a couple notes about the organization charts that you sent me. First off, if you go back and look at the case, the consultants were originally hired to study the effectiveness of the existing structure for achievement of the hospital's objectives, recommend changes and improvement plans, and define responsibilities. So I had asked you originally to take a look at the questions on the last page of the case and do them in reverse order. And so you've developed plans. You did that laundry list. You developed plans for solving problems and identified some areas for improvements. And now you've done the broad structure of an improved organization, which is of course the organization chart. And then the third step is to discuss the effectiveness of the existing organization. And the reason that I asked you to do them backwards is that it's so much easier. You started to talk about all of the problems, and from that the shape of, or the possible shape of, a new organization structure took place. And then by the time you finish doing that, you're in a great position to talk about the effectiveness and the ineffectiveness of the organization. But I wanted to make a couple of points about the organization chart. You know, the administrator's position is vacant, and so there are two options you have. You can either go outside and hire a new administrator, or you can promote the office manager, who, as you know, is studying to be an administrator. And I guess you could probably make a case for going either way. But you know, think of your own organizations. When a senior manager's spot is vacant, it's always better to try and promote from within. And so what type of company would you want to work for? But anyway, there are two options there. So now that second question, that organization chart, it's really an exercise in departmentalization. You know, you're trying to group similar activities, and you're building a bit of a pyramid. And so, just as in your own organizations, you know, at one level you don't have a manager and a director and a supervisor. All of those people are probably called manager, 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 or director, 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 whatever. You keep the titles approximately the same. So the task is really to group those similar activities. And you have, for example, on nursing, you've got the nursing manager, who is responsible for the nursing service and nursing education. So you might call her, director of nursing, and break that off into a couple of spots. And then it would make sense to call other people at that level a director, or you could call them managers, as long as all of the titles are approximately the same. You've got the nurses, and on one of your charts that I saw, you had people reporting to the nurses. Well, if you think of how a hospital operates, the nurses are there to support the doctors and to look after the patients. It wouldn't be appropriate to have the social workers reporting to the hospital, or the physiotherapist report to the nurses, or the physiotherapist reporting to the nurses. Those are really medical services. So you could end up grouping them under a medical services department. You've also got other office services that might report into the administrative area. So I want you to start thinking a little bit about how you departmentalized people. And of course, part and parcel of that, certainly for the new jobs, you don't have to actually write a job description, but recognizing that job descriptions are required, I think, is important. I've taken a look at the organization charts from three groups, and Team 3 did a good job. Veronica and Wael, you're really driving the bus on that team. There doesn't seem to be a lot of participation from the other players, or teammates rather. But you've started to group them together, and you've done a good job so far. I think there's a little more work that you could do, but so far so good. Team 2, you've had great participation from your teammates, and you've started to group the various functions, and I've just taken a look at Alana's and Tony's organization charts, and again you've I think promoted people where there's a good opportunity, and you're starting to group them very nicely, but again, take a look at those groups and make certain that all of the functions in a group relate to that group. So that's Team 2. Team 1, Janet and Caitlin, you did an outstanding job. Janet, you did a wonderful job on departmentalizing, and really you've really hit the nail on the head. I thought you did a great job. I'm not going to say which areas I really enjoyed because I don't want to give the answers away, but I was very impressed. So that's my story for tonight. What I'd like you to do this week is take a look in your groups at your organization charts and see how you can improve them. If you have some questions, please email me. I apologize, I've been a little slow on replying to emails for the past few days. I'm in the middle of a move. As you can see, an empty shelf behind me. This is my 15th move, and you'd think that I'd get better at it, but I'm still struggling with it, and will be for a while yet. But I will try and get back to you. Yeah, again, you can reach me through my personal email, jnbeatty@shaw.ca, or through my cell phone. My number is 403-597-0763. I'm finding that these putting up these YouTube clips, I enjoy them, although I'm not particular. I don't script them per se, but I miss not seeing you in the classroom, and I'm hoping that you're finding these to be of some value because I can talk a lot faster than I can write. Now, I did have a couple of notes. I wanted to make sure that I touched all the bases. Support services, patient care. I mentioned the nurses breaks down into 2 areas. So I think all of the groups are on the right track. There's just some fine-tuning required. And what I'd like to see by the end of next week is a revised organization chart. And then the week after that, I'll be asking you to assemble all of your information into one document and submit one report per team. And recognize that you will have an opportunity to do a peer grading. You'll be able to grade your own performance, and I'll be asking you to grade the performance of the other people on your team. So that's a significant part of the process. You have to be a good team player. Anyway, I think that's enough for tonight. If you have any problems or questions, please email me, and we'll just keep moving forward. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.